Good afternoon, partners. I hope you're all well, and welcome to today's enablement session for Sage 300 Cloud Business Partners. So today we have Peresoft, who will be showcasing their solutions, feature sets, and functionality, and the value that it could bring to you. So if you'd like to see more solutions like Peresoft, please do check out the marketplace. There are new marketplace listings that we are including every month. And if you have any questions, please do make use of the chat or the Q&A. I will be monitoring both. So without further ado, I'll just hand it over to Bobby, who will start with the presentation.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Sage, for giving us the chance to show our products. As you well know, we've been around for many, many years. And I just thought I'd throw a quick picture of where we came from. That's the good old days with my show with the Cashbook and Accpac many, many years ago. And it's all DOS products. And we've come a long way since then. It's actually 42 years of growth. And it's been an amazing journey. And we've also won many awards on the way. I think it's just repetition. Everybody knows who I am and what we've done. You can see on the left there, just by the way, that was the first ever award given by Sage. It was then Computer Associates in the DOS days, 1988, where we won the award for best sales and software support. And you can see in Australia, we did very well in Australia. And we also did very well in South Africa for many, many years. And then finally, Sage gave us a Platinum Elite winner in 2020. So we've actually been around for many years and got a very good reputation from Sage. Okay, you can also see we do a lot of support ourselves on our forums. And you can see we have a 100% forum response. And I think we haven't got one issue that we've never resolved, which is quite a good thing. Okay, just to give you an idea of the last couple of years, you can see our sales. A chart here shows you sales were very strong 2013-14. It went down a little bit 2020, 21, 22 was a bit of a low. And then I think we started having TPAC. And since TPAC came, you can see the growth has been exponentially great. And we've gone back up again to 2015, 2014 numbers. Okay, you can also see the web UIs. I think this is a very interesting chart because although we started very slowly in 2020, you can see that 2024 we doubled our web UI sales. I think that's quite an amazing achievement, and just shows you how people are now getting into the cloud version of Sage 300. Many people run the cloud as well as the on-premise together. Which is very, very powerful stuff because what you can do is you log in on the cloud from anywhere and you're able to actually process exactly what you processed in the office. So quite a lot of clients have gone to cloud because not only do you get the ability to log in anywhere, you also don't need to install. You just need to run your browser and you get your web UIs loading without any installation, any downloading. So that's really a very powerful solution. RecXpress, you can see, is taken off as well. In the last couple of years, it's getting more recognition. And obviously EFT is a little bit slower, but still consistent. But in general, the products are doing very, very well. And we're actually having growth month after month out in the marketplace. Our product statistics, you can show you, are from the users and from the number of sites out there. They're rough estimations. I think we've got a few more, but those are actually active software assurance clients. And you can see the renewal percentage is 99%. We lose very few clients every month, like almost non-existent. I think we lost 3 clients last month, the few before. And funny enough, the most we lose our clients to are 2 products. It's to Pastel, which is Evolution, and also to SAP. The others are insignificant. I think we lost to 0. We lost 3 clients, 4 clients in general. So really our renewals and our product retention is incredible. And that's actually thanks to the dealers and to the people out there that are actually supporting the product. Their knowledge and their idea of how it works is superb. So the clients never have problems, so they never want to move. And we've got clients that have been around for 30 years, 28 years, 25 years, etc. Just to give an idea of numbers, I'm going to go next slide quickly. For example, we have over 72 hotels running our software. We have hundreds of corporates, hundreds, and I think over 50 governmental organizations around the world that are also running our software. What's helped improve the marketplace tremendously in the last 2 years is the growth of our action group. Mitch Martins and I started, well, it was actually started by Mitch a while back with the WhatsApp, and we provided mailing lists to help grow the ecosystem. And it's grown and grown to the point now we've got over 300 members of the Eco WhatsApp group, and we have regular presentations of other ISV products, as well as every 3 months we have what we call an action group get together, where everybody gets together and we have people from Sage, we have people from all the different ISVs talking about their their products, about TPAC, about all the different environments that we operate in. We've also had JT, which is a really nice to have him on it. He's the technical often I call him, from Sage Canada, and he's very involved with the Sage 300 Cloud and development for the future roadmaps of Sage 300. You can see we also publish quite a few articles in the IT web to try and promote the product. In fact, I think we do one article a month, and I'll go straight into this particular case. And we also do a lot of Twitter and newsletters. But let me just go to this particular slide here, which shows you the number of reads that we got. And you can see the global Sage, the ecosystem read, the article we did on the to get-togethers we have with the ecosystem, and that had 11,300 reads, which is 3 times as many as all our other articles. So people are very interested in the Sage 300 products and where it's going and how well it's doing, etc. And we had a very good turnout on those articles. And we're still looking for more articles. I think we're going to get 1 or 2 from Mitch and 1 or 2 other clients. I'm hoping that we can also encourage some success stories from the dealers out there, because we are looking for articles to publish. We've basically run out of our own articles. We can only talk so much about ourselves, and then we need other people's information and other people's way of where they're going, etc. So if you want to do an article, we're quite happy to do one with you. Just get hold of us at Keyware, and we will liaison and get together and work it together for ourselves and with yourselves. Okay. Cool. Let's get into the products. Okay, I'm moving quite fast because there's quite a few things to discuss. Now, we obviously, what we're about to show you now is going to be in the 2026 release. What we have in 2025 at the moment is a much smaller version of what I'm going to show you. But the 2026 release, which is in the next 3 months, I think, or maybe even less, I don't know, it'll probably September, October, we're going to be releasing these new features in our product. Okay. And the first feature we're going to release, which is going to be easy to probably, I find this very, very important. It's one of the important features of our Cashbook, which was lacking before, and that is the attachment of invoices, etc., of files that you can attach now to your entry in batch entry. So if you're entering an invoice for batch entry, you can then attach the actual physical invoice itself. And then when you need to look for that, for say example, you have to do a tax return, or you need to go look for certain documents, they will now be available quite happily, quite easily to view in that actual transaction. This is done by detail line, because obviously some of our batches have single reference batches have multiple entries in them, as well as deposits, and you might want to attach more than one document to one particular entry in Cashbook. Okay, you'll be able to see them in batch entry, you'll be able to see it in the posted transactions, as well as you'll be able to edit the path. If you have to move the document, you'll be able to edit the path in the transactions and the path, because we do allow via security access to limit obviously who can edit that path, because we don't want anyone just fiddling with those paths. But that's quite a nice feature that we've added, and it's going to be, and we're really using it ourselves in the test environment, and it's incredibly useful to see. Very useful indeed. Okay. I'm now going to go into what we've really put a lot of work into. We're trying to get the authorizations in CB to be right up there with two-factor authentication, etc. So when somebody enters a batch, you are able to authenticate the batch, to authorize the batch, and then the person can post the batch only after somebody's authorized it. So what we've done is we've allowed up to 3 levels of authorization. So you allowed 1, 2, or 3. You can set up your users by bank to actually authenticate the batches, to enter the batches, and then to ask for authorizations. Up to 3 different levels, three different people can then authorize. Obviously, most batches will probably be only with 1 person doing the authorization. In my company, we use it for 2 people. Some clients like to have 3 people. I think the last person would be to make sure that the money's in the bank, to make sure they can post the batches. Okay, you can see at the bottom here on the second part of the screen, you can see you can actually notify the people that need to authorize the batch using an email or an SMS. Okay, I have mentioned this before in the previous demonstrations, but now we've improved this a lot, and we wanted to now allow them to actually attach files to the emails or to the SMSs, and also they can then answer the email and send an OTP to the person who needs to authorize to post the batch. Okay, so what happens? It's very simply, you would then go into the authorization over here. And if you click on there to authorize, it then allows you to go to send an attachment and an email or an SMS to the person to have a look at the entry. So for example, an email attachment can be, for example, your batch list, which they can then obviously look separately from the bank, from the cash book. You know, you must remember that people often that you are sending this email to only have email access. They don't actually log in to the product. So we want them to be able to receive the email. And in the email itself, I will then go to the next screen. So here's an email we would have sent. Okay, and you can see it tells you the batch number being authorized by user, and then it gives an OTP number. And this number they can then send back to the user, who will then enter that number, and it will then authorize that particular batch for posting. Okay, now if you look at the top, you can see we have attached a report. So that's obviously could be your batch list. It could be a report or anything else you want the person to look at, so they don't have to go into Cashbook and have a look at the entries itself. Saves the land pack, saves them having to know how to do it. It's really the way to go with regard to authorizations. And you can see at the bottom here, when the person sends the email back, they open up the authorization screen or whatever, or the authorization within the column, and they can then enter 115, 517 over here. And once they click that, it then says that the authorization is ready for the next person, if necessary, if you've got 3-tier or you've got 2-tier, or it says it's complete and they can then post the batch. Okay, this is a very powerful system, and we're working on it very intensely to get it perfectly working, so we can have it working for the end user when it gets released. And we would like any suggestions. People have any suggestions as to what they think they should be adding or what they think is needed as well. But we have tried to cover everything that we have thought of. So any suggestions, you're welcome to ask. Okay, so let's just go back there. And before we go any further, I think we did mention that we were going to ask questions. So before I move on to the next level, the next thing, has anybody got any questions about authorizations and about attaching documents to their batches? Any questions? If not, no problem. You're welcome to email us later or get a hold of us later. You can go on the forums and ask questions. You can send through enhancements if you want on the enhancement forum, etc. And we'll have a look at them and see if it's viable to include. As I say, we're in the middle of development, so it would be nice to have as many suggestions as possible to cover as much as possible in this particular new functionality. Just one last thing I'd like to mention, and that is we're also adding exactly the similar, this 2-factor, 3-factor authentication method to adding your vendors, to adding your miscellaneous codes for the EFT. So you can then actually make sure that what's being entered is correct into EFT, into the MIS codes, and that you don't fiddle with bank account numbers, etc. And they're properly authenticated when you're entering EFT payments. Okay. I'm flying quite fast here, so it doesn't matter. So hopefully at the end we'll have more and more questions. So I think I'm going too fast. Can somebody just tell me how fast I'm going, please? Azakiwe, can you just quickly tell me what the time is? Because I can always slow down a bit and take a bit longer.
It's quarter past 3.
Oh gosh, you're going to finish before 3:30. But that's fine. That means it's fine. We don't have to worry if it takes a bit quicker than necessary. Okay, so that's the main things we're doing to Cashbook. Okay, I'm now going to go back to RecXpress because I think RecXpress is still underestimated. I mean, I was looking at our sales and I see that RecXpress currently has only got about 30% of the Cashbook market. And I think it should be at least 60%, because the way you can now do your bank recons using 3 methods covers every single bank statement that comes from your bank. You must remember that there are different statements that are covered by different retrieval methods. And for example, your current account can be covered by a normal import, but what about your call account? And what about your their CFC account, etc.? Would they also be covered with, or do they have to be imported? So we've got 3 different methods of bringing in transaction statements from your banks, and they will cover every single file, every single account you hold. And I'll show you how nifty it is. By using all 3 together, you can then do your bank recon in RecXpress in a multiple screen, and you'll be able to do all the actual reconciliations together, covering like the renumbering, the batch creation, etc. in RecXpress, and not worry about missing anything that you've got. So if you've got like 10 banks, you might want to do all 10 together. And then when you run the renumber, you say renumber all 10 at the same time, etc. So I'm just going to show you the screens first of all. Right, so let's look at the first method. Okay, the first method you all know about. You've been using it for years. Standard import. At the bottom here, import file name, and then you've got a huge list of bank accounts we've already created for import formats. We've got over 250 now, I think, banks with different formats around the world. I think we've got Asia, we've got local, and we've got Africa and America. And we're talking not 1 or 2 formats. We're talking 20, 30 different formats per country. And they cover just about every single account that the bank is able to send or allow you to export. Okay, that's the first method. And that's method 1, which is importing your file, standard import. Okay. The method 2 we've added is lately, and that is where the bank sends the bank statement to your server automatically, or you are able to retrieve the statement automatically from the bank server. This is by setting up an SFTP environment where you can have the two-factor authentication, password with, I'll go through each of them in a minute. And then you're able to actually use that together with the import and together with the third method, which is the Sage bank feeds. So you've got 3 different methods, and they can all work together to bring in your bank statements to cover all the different reconciliation methods that you want to do in your all the different bank accounts you want to do in RecXpress. Okay, the Sage bank fees, just to give you some more information, they have released it now for 2025. I haven't spoken to Sage for a while, but I do believe that that they are available, and you should be able to get your demo from Sage, which allows you to actually link to the bank feeds. Because now I think they've got subscription licensing for dealers, and the bank feed only is available from the subscription license, not from the older licenses. So if you get hold of Sage, they should be able to give you a subscription license, and you should be able to use their bank feeds without any issues. Okay, so now we've got 3 methods of importing your file. So what you do here is you can see from this grid that you can have all your banks listed in the grid, and on the right hand side here you can see they are all different formats that we're using to import. We've got the retrieve from a local directory, which is a very simple straightforward the way it's importing. You've got to retrieve from SFTP with the 3 different methods from SFTP, which is a password, a key file, and 2-factor authentication. Those are all 3 covered with our SFTP. Again, you can have another one from the local directory, and then you can also have one here that could be from the bank feeds. What I found with the bank feeds very useful is that it also lets you bring in your Visa accounts, your MasterCard accounts as well, and that's very handy, because I know for a fact that SFTP does not work with MasterCards and credit cards, etc. So using the bank feeds, that gives you the complete picture. And you can see here as well, here's another custom import using a different file name, okay? And retrieve from local again, and retrieve via bank feeds. So what we've got here is we've got all the banks all in one area, all ready to retrieve, and you can do each month together by the from date and the until date, okay? So what happens is it feeds the bank statements into a temporary area every day, and then once a month you can then say to it, I want from X date to Y date, okay? Okay, I can see that these dates are a bit funny here, because as a Kiwi, what have you done with the dates? Okay, I'm only kidding. So what you can do then is you can set up your date saying, give me a custom date range, or a monthly date range, or 21 days, 14 days, 7 days, and it will then fix each bank accordingly to have that range of information to be brought into the cash book, okay, into RecXpress. Okay. Now, this is really, I'm just going to stay here for a bit longer. So what you do is you bring in your bank statements for all these banks. You could then go into each of the banks using the bank code here and look at what you need to analyze, if you have to look at the others, see what's not been set up in rules, because most of your transactions should have rules. So it saves you having to allocate them correctly to the right GL accounts, etc. Okay. And then when you're happy with all the banks, you can then do all the processes together. So if you hit the renumber here, okay, it will renumber every single bank that you've selected on the left. Okay, I've only selected 3 here, but obviously you could select all of them at once, and it'll renumber each of these banks without missing one, which is really useful. Okay, then you can create a batch, and then go and create any unmatched entries. It needs to create batches like bank charges, stop orders, debit orders, etc. They get generated automatically by RecXpress, so you don't have to worry about actually missing any. Okay, it also renumbers them correctly and all that. As you well know, I'm sure a lot of you use RecXpress. If you don't, you should be, because you can take it from there, and believe me, you can do so much without having to do any manual entry yourself. And what would have taken a day or 2 days will now take half an hour. Okay, create the batch, open the batch list, post the batches all together, and then post your regex, which will then update your bank statements, your bank reconciliation. The thing about this is you're doing them all together, so you do one at a time. So what you can now do as well, okay, is you can actually automate everything. So when you automate it, you can tell it to retrieve, process, renumber, create, post, and post records, and even clear the recon when you're finished, all in one process. And you can tell it to do this once every 2 minutes. I would recommend 15, not 2. Once every hour, once every day. I do it 24 hours. Okay, every morning it retrieves the bank statements, puts them into our product, and we can even generate reports from that if you want to, by using the custom report generation in Sage. And it's incredibly useful, this, because it does it in the background. You don't have to worry, and it actually does everything for you, and you just have to make sure at the end of the month that everything's balanced. In fact, you don't even have to worry about it balancing, because it brings in the statements. You don't miss any statements, okay? And the balancing is obviously done because it's automated, and it should pick up the balance from each of the entries and work it out correctly for you. Okay. So what you can also do is, when in the options in RecXpress, you say to don't stop the batch generation on error. And you can see it's over. This is a function. If you allow that, it will generate the batches regardless. If it finds an error, it will move on to the next entries and carry on generating. And what you'll find is if you go look at your RecXpress, you'll see the entries that have not worked or whatever are sitting waiting to be fixed. And this is quite a useful feature because not only when it does this, it gives you a report, and the report shows you exactly each process started and completed successfully. And this report will show you if you've done the correct retrievals, the correct processing, and it will automatically know if there's an error to allow you to continue and rerun it. So if it gets stuck halfway and it finishes everything else and you rerun it, it will only then fix or go after what you fixed and reprocess it and make sure that they're all complete. And you can see it gives you the process flow, the different messages, different errors. It's a very, very powerful feature we are going to be adding is the ability to restart the entry, restart the generate in the middle of it if it crashed and carry on from there. Okay. Before I go to that slide, any questions? No questions. I'm not expecting many questions. I think you need to first use this, get to know it, to understand it, and then you'll probably have questions, which I'm sure you'll have in the future. Okay, so the whole RecXpress process is now automated, put together, and should be a monthly process that is no problems for your clients at all. We've got one client who gets their bank statement sent to them every 15 minutes. And every 15 minutes, the product picks up the bank statement, posts it to Cashbook, and matches it via the allocation method to the invoices and debtors, and pays, and the client can see if they've got their money in, etc. And that's done automatically by the system every 15 minutes. Okay. Right. Excuse me. Okay, as you can see, my camera fell over, so let me put it back there. Okay, so we've also been discussing, I think I'm going to just bring in Wayne in a minute, just to quickly just say before he comes in, we've also been discussing having what we call digital IDs. We discussed it with Amware and with a client, a developer of theirs called Realist. And Wayne, do you want to actually just go through it quickly and just tell them what this involves?
Yeah, okay, Bob. So firstly, we're very happy and excited about adding this extra level of security to Cashbook. At the moment, it's built into EFT, and what it entails is the customer would register for a digital ID via an external provider. In this case, it's Realist, and we'll add more providers as they come on board with us. So the customer will register all their highly confidential account details, account numbers, everything, and get a digital ID from that. And that digital ID and all those facts that it used to register the client ID will be stored in miscellaneous codes per miscellaneous code, where they will use the digital ID integration system. And so what we'll do,
screen, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So per vendor, per bank code, per vendor, a digital ID can be set up. And then whenever a batch is entered for that bank, for that vendor, and posted, we will post off a call to the digital ID provider and verify that the account information that we're about to create an EFT batch for is exactly the same as what's registered for the digital ID. So it's a last step verification system to make that transaction 100% authentic. If there's even the slightest difference, so it would normally be an account code, maybe a branch code, something, we won't process the EFT batch, and we will give the message you've seen there saying that it failed the validation, give the vendor name, and they would have to check that all the details are correct. And that's about as simple as it is. It's really as simple as just adding those details into the form we've created there and carrying on with it. You won't even know it's happening if all the details are correct. You won't even see anything.
Yeah, the point of the digital ID is to make sure that the miscellaneous codes are authentic and that the clients have not been changed or something's been fiddled within the system, and security is 100%. And you can see these points here that make it what it is, which is really going to make it very secure. Okay, two-step verification, prevents fraud, aligns with our government's digital ID initiative. This future-proof banking. So really, this is the future of future-proof, I would say. Wayne, am I right?
Absolutely. I mean, if you just think that the EFT transfer batch is created in, so quickly on the fly in multi-seconds, and it's verified against the digital ID, and in that multi-second it passes and it's sent off to the bank. No chance for anyone to fiddle or interfere.
And I think this is the future. This is going to be standard for everybody. Eventually, they're going to have a digital ID to verify their system, verify their accounts. I mean, already we have certificates for websites, and to make sure those are the correct. The secure websites, make sure they're correct. So why not extend this to your vendors and make sure they correct? I mean, it's really is the correct way to go. Okay, yes, Mitch, you have a question. Hand up.
Hi guys. Also want to just add a little bit of extra onto the digital ID. As Bobby and Wayne's mentioned, it aligns with the SA government digital ID initiative and the authentication that's coming out. So basically what it means is your entities and your individuals who have a digital ID issued to them, it will work like a smart card ID. So the payee in this case is in charge of his own digital ID. So you only need to FICA, RICA, VAT, CIPC, the whole thing that goes with it, with the Realist portal, with the issuer of the digital ID. And at that point in time, that digital ID is then linked to your profile, whether you are an individual or an entity. You'll also then be able to use the exact same digital ID when you are later on, as government gets more involved with digital authentication, you'll be able to use the exact same ID to, for instance, open a new municipal account. You'll be able to go and pay your MTN or your Vodacom account with it. You'll be able to open loan accounts or whatever the case might be with the same digital ID. It actually gets linked to the Reserve Bank and to SARS and to Home Affairs at that point in time. So we'll be linking to those portals when the time comes. Thanks.
Will this save people having to be FICA, because they'll do it once and only once, and they'll have the FICA authentication, and then they'll have a digital ID that says the FICA's authentic, and then maybe that will save them having to do 100 times FICAs. You know what I mean?
100%. The custodian of the ID is also in charge of making changes to it. So, you'll be able to issue your digital ID also to your suppliers, other suppliers, and you'll be able to say that, what the exact need is, the requirement is for them to use your digital ID. You'll also be able to expire that approved usage of that digital ID. You'll be able to revoke it or automatically get it revoked based on the expiry date that you set. And then you'll be able to obviously edit things like your bank details and everything else that is personal and linked to your specific digital ID for those purposes as well.
Excellent way to go. I think personally, it's the only way to go. Okay, so to obtain these digital IDs, will we give the client will be able to see from here, maybe we put in the help or something to have a link towards the client, towards you guys to purchase it, etc.?
Yes, 100%. And we have pricing available. We are basically looking at $1 per ID per year.
Sure. That's really little. That's really viable.
That's nothing. It is nothing.
No,
if you think about the holes that we are plugging, $1 per payee per year is really nothing. The basic, we've got the 3 different tiers: a basic, an advanced, and an enterprise. The cost per ID per year stays the same. We just have a minimum break on every one of those. Where the basic starts with a 20 user cap, advanced up to 40, or sorry, a limit, and or what's it, a minimum bracket. The advanced is a 40 ID minimum, and the enterprise is a 60 ID minimum. Other than that, the onboarding is free.
Brilliant. Excellent. Okay. And as you can see, it verifies it at point of posting as well. So if somebody changes before you post the batch, it will again verify the digital ID, and you won't be able to go any further. So that's also quite a good security check as well. Okay, now that's the end of our presentation. Now, the reason why the presentation wasn't that long is because we didn't go through all the older features of the product. I think we know how all those work. I mean, everybody, I think, that's on this webinar has sold a Cashbook or has sold RecXpress and a Cashbook together. So we really haven't got, we've got some these are major features coming out, but we've pretty much got so many other features already built into Cashbook already. I was actually quite interesting. I went through and I was looking at other people's Cashbooks, other product Cashbooks, like I won't mention any names of the products, but from other companies. And I don't see any Cashbook as powerful as this Peresoft Cashbook. I'll be honest with you. I think after 40 years of development, we've pretty much covered just about every single feature plus more in our product. And you can tell by the way people never move. They stay with us. They don't go anywhere, because to get a similar Cashbook is just not going to happen. It's just not out there. So I think this is, again, I will give a compliments to our dealers, the people like Mitch, people like AM, and all the other dealers, the big dealers, Synergies and the Lorgies, and I can carry on mentioning all the names that people have been around for so many years. They're as old as me. It's like, it's incredible. We've come so far, so many years, so strong, and our marketplace hasn't shrunk. It's actually grown, and in spite of opposition after opposition, we've become stronger and stronger. And we actually now are at the point now where we're super strong. The ecosystem, the feedback we get, the people put on the messages on the WhatsApp groups, people are helping from all over the world. We get people from Australia giving us solutions. We've got an incredibly strong product, Sage 300. Thanks to the Sage SDK as well, we have a lot of add-on products, a lot of ISV products, all looking the same and all built into the same environment. And that's thanks to Sage and their SDK. It's an incredibly versatile development system, and something that I don't think there's one like out there like this. Just don't think that the power we're giving 300 is comparable. I mean, it's unbelievable what the marketplace has. I mean, the marketplace has become. And lastly, I will say another thing. Technologically, the people that run and support Sage 300, they know their stuff. There's no doubt. I mean, I look at the answers on the forums. There's always an answer. Always somebody knows how to do something, or to help you doing something which is like, something vertical or whatever. And you just don't have that with other products. It's unbelievable how strong Sage 300 has become. And I'll say one more thing, and that is the passion that people have for this product. I mean, I have a lot of passion for it, as you well know, and I think it's across the whole platform. It's amazing that people love working with Sage 300. How that happened or whatever, it can only be because of the way it operates and how logical it is and how powerful the actual product is. And I'll give a compliment there to everybody, including Sage, with the SDK, with the products, the way we work, the way we interact with each other is absolutely fantastic. And I will thank you all for that. And thank you for you. We are successful because of you. We are where we are today because of you. And of course, we developed good software as well, very good software. But if you didn't sell it, if you didn't use it, it would just be sitting on the shelf doing nothing. So you can see that the products, we've come to the end of our presentation. So I'm hoping for some feedback from you guys, something, tell me I'm talking nonsense, or you make a comment of what you think of the marketplace. Would be very interesting to hear you guys. Okay, so on that, I will say to you, I'm actually finished my presentation, and I would love to hear some comments from you guys out there, please. Another hand up. Oh, Mitch, go for it.
You see, now I'm doing what you're doing to my session.
No, I love it. I love it. I want as much as possible. I'm not here because of me. I'm here because of us. Go
No,
for it,
I
Mitch.
just want
Go.
to say, this is an amazing product. You know, I
Thanks,
spent some
Mitch.
time in Atlanta. For the guys that didn't know, I was in at Sage Future, representing the TPAC guys in Atlanta, and I moved across and met all the ISVs at Sage Future. And I can very honestly and openly say that this is by far the best product out there. Thanks so much, Bobby and team.
I'm blushing here. I mean, I'm really blushing. But I'm going to be honest. I stopped writing code about 5 years ago, and Wayne and Karita took over the product, and they've excelled. I mean, thank you very much, Wayne, for your coding, the way you've kept the bugs out, the way you've done the actual software itself. We've gone to places. I mean, when I started doing this development, in 1983, I remember somebody walking up to me and saying to me, I need a cash book. And they showed me a book, and they said, here's the columns. On the left, you've got the account codes. On the right, you've got the whatever. I don't know which way it went. And so on the right, you've got the account codes. On the left, you've got the vendors and the payments and all that. I want this on a computer. And I said, how am I going to lay it out? Whatever. And I remember the DOS days, we released the product in 1984, 85. And straight away, we took off with 30 products a month being sold in DOS, with General Ledger. DOS Cashbook went out there, and we were flying, and we did very well with the product. And so did the Accpac people, and so did they do very well with the Accpac products. And together, the combination, it was a mind blower. It was unbelievable. 20,000 DOS sites. When Y2K came, we wrote a utility to convert the data to handle the full 2020, the 4-digit year. It was seamless. It was easy. In fact, people said, you've ripped us off. There was nothing involved. I said, well, without the utility to convert, there would have been something involved. You just didn't notice because it was so easy to do. And I must say, it's phenomenal. I'm still sitting here, I don't know if I'm ever going to retire. I think we've got 20 years here minimum left of this product. And just to go one step further, when we went to the web with the product, when we had to load the web UIs, it was amazing that we had to just redevelop the web UIs. We did the front end. We did not have to develop the views at all. They just fitted in with the web. And therefore the debugging of the actual product did not require us to go into the actual posting of the product. We had to just go to the actual front end, and that's how we actually did so well, okay, and made it so easy to handle, okay. And today you can go either or. You go web, on-premise, same thing, identical. And I think that's really the power. You can see we're really selling web UIs a lot now. It's becoming a very standard private cloud solution. Very, very, very nice. Cool. Mitch, anything else? Come, I want more. Anything else you guys have to say? It would be really nice. I don't even know who's on this webinar because we can't see a list of it, but I'm sure we're all here.
Anita's got her hand up.
Yeah.
Ah, Anita, where have you been? Go for it, Anita. Can you talk?
She's muted. She's muted.
Unmute her. Oh, suppression. Not any kidding. Eh?
She has to unmute herself.
Okay. Anita, please, we'd love to hear from you. Can she unmute herself? I don't think she can. Depends how you joined the meeting. I don't know.
No, the mic is enabled on her side.
Okay. So sorry, while we've got you on the call, Mitch, I believe you're going to be doing the next TPACs and getting involved as well with the TPAC guys. And what are you finding the feedback is towards TPAC? Positive, strong?
Yes, thanks, Bobby. So yes, Doug has asked me to get involved. And like I said, I was in Atlanta with my TPAC hat on, and I wasn't there with my MWare hat on. And it was purely to actually go and talk to guys and bring them into the TPAC space. The reason being that a lot of these ISVs are already already integrating with other product. They are Sage 300 ISVs, but the guys are going across ERP platform and also cross Sage product. So the idea is that we have the same ISV with the same traction, but the idea is to move more people through those ISVs so that we create an ecosystem of tech partners where the guys can provide stickiness across product, but have them actually do that in a controlled manner rather than being in a forced manner. And I think that's important.
Yeah.
So very positive.
Cool.
Very positive from that perspective. We have also received very great feedback and also presentations and announcements made for Sage 300 specifically by the likes of Mike Ritchie and Richard Yang. Those guys are in charge of the BMS product range. I spoke to JT also, and even right through to Mark Hickman and Rob Sinfield. We had great discussions. I spoke to Aaron Harris regarding Copilot. Very interesting things that are coming to 300 within the next version and beyond. I'm talking, even right through to the end of V 2026 and going into 2027 and beyond, which is very, very exciting stuff. And I'll be talking about some of that in some of our action group meetings as we move along in those.
Yeah. Okay, I also forgot to mention something else. Yeah, excellent, Mitch. Let me just quickly mention something else. We are looking at doing a mail shot to the end users. We want the dealers, we obviously can ask permission from the dealers if we can do that, because we don't want to just email everybody without them. If they don't want us to do it, we'll just take their dealers or their clients off the list, and then only email the clients that people said they're happy with. And one of the brochures is going to be something like this. Did you know your bank can send your company's bank statement directly to your computer? Something that people wouldn't imagine that can be done. This is just by the way, this bank statement directly to your computer is one of the most powerful and the most wonderful ways of bringing in your bank statement, because you never have to do anything. You just have to hit the process button and it brings it into RecXpress. You don't have to go to the bank. You don't have to log in, nothing. It brings it in straight away. And I don't think people are aware of how powerful that is. So we are going to say, we're going to send a brochure like this to your clients and show them how it works. You can then get a hold of us. We can teach you how RecXpress works properly, and you can try and get this into their products. But to be honest with you, the only way to do a bank recon today is automatically. And I think, Mitch, you got involved in a client that uses RecXpress. And although you thought you knew RecXpress, let's be honest, you didn't.
I didn't at all. No, I did not at all. But I must tell you, the experience has been great. We were able to help the client very, very quickly, very fast turnaround time from Karita and Wayne and Azza and yourself. And those guys have been flying without any problems, while I was away in Atlanta, which is great.
Yeah, I must say, getting a bank statement from the bank automatically is totally invisible. You don't even know it's happening, and it really is the way to go. We've got 4 banks already. We're going to look at a few more as people get on board. They're going to be able to ask their bank if they do it, and if they're not on the list, we can then add the format. And then what you do is in the Cashbook, you just hit a button and it comes into your bank state. Comes in. You don't even have to log into anything, and you don't miss a statement. And let's be honest, Mitch, the client that you're talking about, if they did not have that from the bank, they couldn't have done what they're doing now, which is totally automated, totally. And it's invisible to the client, and it's an absolute pleasure. You never go out of balance. What a pleasure! What a pleasure.
100%,
Mm.
100%,
we
and
are
especially
now.
in
Mm.
sorry, Bob,
Go
and
for it.
especially in their environment. You know, they run online auctions off their corporate website. You know, and the guys, in order for you to take part in that auction, the client needs to pay an upfront prepayment. So that needs to reflect on the bank before the guys can actually open up their operations for the participation in the auction. So it's important for them to have that information real time, and it's just amazing the way that the RecXpress is handling those transactions.
Yes, and you know, you set up your rules only once, and once you've got the rules running, when you bring in the statement, it automatically knows where to go. So you don't even have to look at where it's going, because it goes automatically. And we know so many allocation errors happen from the people punching in the data. And I'll be honest, from the day we were working with the Cashbook, from day one, 42 years ago till today, my ambition with this product was to make it absolutely seamless. It's you know, it's one of the most difficult parts of a business is the cash book. There's so many different types of entries. It's not specific, you know. Stocking, inventory is stock. You're not going to start doing something else in your inventory control. Debtors as well, creditors as well. You're going to stick to debtors. You're not going to start bringing in something from somewhere else. Where cash book, you've got entries coming from all over the place. So for us to have tightened that up and for it to know what to do with those entries and to remove that from the user is a huge step to automation, to error free, to balancing. Because let's be honest, if you don't balance your cash book, you've got a problem right from the beginning, and that's right. The criteria of every business is to balance their cash book. So for us to arrive at this place now, where you can do automatic recons, automatic rules, fetching the statement without you fetching the statement, is really a huge step forward. Huge. It's really the way to go. So this is going to be the brochure. This is what we're going to send to the clients, giving them a brief overview. And I think we've tried to shout here why. Look at that big fat arrow going into your computer to show them in a visual way that it's done automatically. And you know, let's see where this takes us. This is where we need to go. I haven't seen a product like this in the marketplace, to be honest with you.
Bobby,
Yes.
Bobby, may I
Yes.
have a word, please?
Who are we talking to now?
Derek.
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 I've had my hand up all the time and you just keep on blabbering.
Because
the
we
best
don't
product.
know. We only notice the women.
Yeah, be like that. Listen, Bob, before you send out that, can we arrange, or how do I do a training session on RecXpress to get the SFTP as well as EFT? I've got a client that I'm sitting with tomorrow on NetBank that I need to get the EFT SFTP thing working. So
No problem.
I would love one of your staff, maybe Azar, can do some training just to help me get this thing going on the UAT environment, so we can test it and make sure that the bank and the client is happy before we go live.
Perfect. So what you do, just tell us when. Give us a date and we'll join. You know, we're normally available 10 o'clock in the morning is the best. 10 to 11.
Capetonians.
No,
9 o'clock
we have
in the
a
morning,
meeting
come
at
on.
9. We have staff meetings at 9.
Yes,
But we're quite happy to do it in the afternoon as well.
All
Just tell us, you know, we offer this all the time, and we would love to help you set up your SFTP correctly. You know, Abza can do it with Wayne or with Karita or with me and do it for you. It's so quick once you know how to do it. And once you've done it, it's done. It's never touched again. You never touch. And
No,
I see we've done your bank format for ABSA. Am I right?
ABSA, we got that sorted. Thank you very much. That's done.
But we need to now take it into a live environment.
Yeah, and then we got that ABSA stuff. The first EFTs were uploaded. The client's very happy. So 100%. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so we're ready. Okay, and we offer this to everybody, Derek. I'm glad you know. You and I go back years. And I think we go back before even Swaziland when I beat you at tennis. But that's a separate issue.
We'll play another round of croquet.
No, you actually destroyed me, Derek. I'll be honest with you.
True.
I thought I was so bloody smart. But on a real one, I want I want us to get it up and running for you because it's the way to go. And then once you get one going, you can then get all your clients eventually on it. And it's a very small bank charge to do,
Okay.
by the
Yes.
way. So
Yeah.
just give us the time and we'll fit you in.
All right. Yeah, I'll chat to NetBank tomorrow because they need to give me all those codes
Yes.
and tokens and things. And then from FNB side, what's happening there? Because geez, I've been struggling with that. But somebody on the forum gave me the Bankit format, which is actually working, but it's not 100% lacquer, but we at least working. So I would love to get the client also involved in the automated RecX. But then we just need to make sure that it is the format is perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, well, let me tell you the RecXpress way of doing things. People often think, oh, we haven't got the transaction codes. You don't need transaction codes to still do rules. I mean, I'll bring in my Visa and there's just one transaction code. Well, there's actually two, debit and credit. So by using the names and the descriptions, you are able to break it up even more into the transaction codes and get them, allocated to the correct GL accounts. We found that the FNB statement doesn't send transaction codes.
Yes.
And that is a big thing. I was thinking, Mitch, what is for that client that we also got FNB where they fetch the statement, they have a different format they use called, I think it's called Recit or something.
Yeah, something like you're seated. Yes.
Receipted. Yeah.
Now, does that have transaction codes?
Are you asking me? I've got no idea.
I think they do. And if that's the case, then I would rather that they use that format. And that is the format they can use on SFTP because that's what that's what they are using already for SFTP. They are a client running FNB and they are using the FNB download that's automated. And I was thinking maybe that one has got, so Anna, do me a favor tomorrow morning, or Mitch, I think you've got those formats they were sent to you as test data.
Yes.
Can we have a look at that? We can check with Karita because she does it. She's actually in Australia, so she's probably gone to bed, which I don't blame her. We don't want her working till 3:30 in the morning. But we will come back to you tomorrow morning and tell you if that's got more information for you, and then rather use that FNB format than the one that you're currently using. Okay?
Yes, because I was at a client this morning doing with the Bankit format, and I can see it'll work, but it requires extra work for the client. So I just want to make it as easy as possible, and if we can do it automatically with the RecX SFTP, it's going to be a first prize.
Brilliant. So you come back to us ASAP with a thing, and we'll have a date set up. We actually free the rest of the week.
Okay.
So we can do just Wednesday afternoons. I'm not available, but you don't need me.
Playing
you need
golf.
Wayne. Of course I'm playing golf. No, I don't call that golf. I call it hack. I'm hacking my way around the golf
You're hacking
course.
your way around. Okay.
I'm hacking, In the old days, I played golf. Today, I don't know. I can't remember my swing. Maybe I forget it on every backswing. The point is, set up the hour. It'll only take an hour or so, and let's get together and we'll set up training and get you up and running one time. Okay.
100%. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay. And by the way, this applies to everybody. Everybody on this call, everybody on this webinar. If you want separate training, you want to go to the client. I know because SFTP sounds fancy. It sounds fancy, but there's a step procedure. If you get it right, it's so easy. And once it's running, it runs. And remember, there's only, the banks are not going to do it. There's one format, one way of doing it. And that's normally the best way of doing it. So we're very keen to get all the banks doing it.
Do you, maybe just for the other users on the group, do you need to contact the bank first before we get you guys involved? Because obviously we need to have all that information. So so we just need to know that. Go to your bank, say this is what we need to do. Take that SFTP brochure of yours and ask the bank for those points.
Correct. Okay. That's correct. We give you a form to fill in, which asks for the different formats and asks you, what for the demo, for a test file and all that. You fill it in, go to the bank with that information. We've already got apps, so we've got FNB, we've got Nedbank, and we've got Standard Bank. They all download statements, and I'm sure Investec and all the others will join, Capitec and all that. So they're already there. We just need. We're finding that people just worry about how to set up the SFTP side. I think that's the difficult side. Am I
Yeah,
right?
for the user that needs to connect to the bank, those type of
Yes.
information. Where do we get that? And yeah, so we need
Are
to
you
we
doing
just
it?
need to get that information as well.
Other keywords created also knowledge base PDFs, and each bank we've given a breakdown of how to do it with the bank, who to talk to if necessary, not really who, but what department and what you will need. So we've really got knowledge bases for just about all the banks as well. So really just ask and you'll get.
Perfect.
It's that simple.
Thank you.
Brilliant. I love this. This is what it's all
Bobby?
about. Yes.
Bobby, I see Anita says she can't unmute, but she's just asking that you send us the slides together with the recording, please.
Okay. What slides?
The
Your
slide deck that you have.
Presentation.
Yeah.
But that would come with the recordings. Oh, you want the actual PPT?
Yeah, the actual PPT, please.
Oh, yeah. With pleasure. We've got like quite a few PPTs, quite a few. So
Perfect.
Plenty.
Thank you.
brilliant. Okay. Any more feedback? Well, this is what it's all about, is the feedback, all of it. No more feedback. Cool. Okay. Well, on that note, thank you, Sage. Yeah. Is there anybody from Sage on the presentation that might want to add a few words? No.
I think it's just me here.
Oh my dear.
You're
All on
working
your
late.
own.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
Mitch, that's
You got a very
bit of
nice
thing.
office.
Yeah, very nice office.
It's the same as
Thank
Samantha's.
you.
How many people were on our presentation, just out of interest?
Currently there's 22.
I
Okay.
saw 29 earlier.
Yes.
I saw went up to about 38 at the stage. I saw.
Okay. Cool.
Yes.
Excellent. Oh, that's still excellent. Excellent. Okay. Thank you very much, Sage. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very
I'll
much,
hand you back.
Bobby, for the insightful presentation. And thank you, partners,
thank
for
you.
taking the time to actually come through. We're definitely looking forward to the 2026 releases, definitely. And also, partners, I will send the thank you mailer. It will include the recording for the session and any other collateral that Bobby would like to send to you. It will be sent together with the thank you mailer. And also there is a form on there where you can actually give feedback on these sessions and just let us know what you would like to see in these type of sessions. So with that being said, have a lovely rest of your day, partners,
you.
and we will see you on the next one. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you very much.
Thank
you.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.